Hey everybody, how's it going? Happy Monday. This is Marcos Villegas, Fight Up TV, powered by stagefront.vip, welcoming you to another edition of our Fight Up TV interview show. Working title in progress. Let's see where this goes and where we end up. I just feel like the name, you need to come up with a name, like a better name. So if you guys have any better ideas, let me know in terms of what do you guys want this work in progress to be titled. But I'm going to try to do it, like I mentioned, the other two episodes consistently as possible. I apologize. We had an episode ready next week, and my internet decided to take a dump on me, completely crashed out on me. I have Spectrum. Spectrum has been just terrible. It's terrible the last 6 months. I've been getting outages, I want to say on average, like once or twice in a month since January. So yeah, like it was like a 2-hour episode that we filmed, getting reaction from the Mayweather John Gotti situation that happened. We had one of the commentators on, friend of mine, Claudia Trejos, who worked the pay-per-view commentating, giving us like a first account of like what happened and why it happened and what happened after, which was really great descriptive stuff from it. And yeah, you know, it was a 2-hour episode. I had an interview that I did with Teddy Atlas bundled in there, talking about a national boxing commission. The episode was a good solid episode, man. And yeah, the internet took a dump and I couldn't get it up, and it took like 4 hours to get up. And by that time, I just couldn't schedule it in. We had, last Tuesday, the Spence Crawford press tour that started, which was, man, we finally got to see these guys go face to face. Like, I don't think there's been a few fights that I remember off the top of my head where I saw a face off and I just smiled and said, finally, finally, finally. The first one, and it's still, I don't think any other fight up to this point. Honestly, it's going to be a long time till a fight tops this reaction from me. But I remember when Floyd and Manny got on stage, it was at the YouTube Theater in LA. It was named something else. I think it was called like the Microsoft Theater. And like they did this like last minute. They were only going to do like one press tour. It was freaking packed. I just remember I got there and I was just like, what the hell? Like there's too many people here. They let us in late, of course, like always. We were scrambling to get set up. There's like no risers to set up our tripods. Like I had my best friend Ben at the time helping me out. I had him go like to another spot to get the shot of them facing off. But I remember I just stood there when they faced off. Saw Manny come in to the right. And I was like, oh shit, this is going to happen. And I see Floyd on the left and I was like, wow. And then they finally faced off and I just stood there and I was like, oh my God, these guys are finally going to fight. Side note, Floyd had like this blazer on and this collared shirt, and he had it bunted up all the way. And he didn't have a tie. I always wondered that why he chose not to wear a tie that day. But is that fight in Canelo versus Golovkin when they first faced off for the first time, and that was after the Chavez Jr. fight. Yeah, he came out like a WWE type thing where they announced him coming out, Golovkin. I remember when that Chavez fight finished, Golovkin came out and they faced off. I was like, yes, finally. And in this fight, when I saw, obviously, I was juggling 50 million things trying to get content up for you guys. But I remember I turned around, I saw, and I was like, man, finally going to get it. We're finally going to get it. Spence and Crawford goes down July 29th. Whew, we've been going, and we're going to continue to go freaking crazy on the content we bring you for this Crawford versus Spence fight. That's what we do, man. We churn out content like a mofo when it comes to these big fights. But man, let's go ahead and kind of touch on some of the stuff that happened over the weekend. Like I mentioned, I apologize. I'm going to repackage that Teddy Atlas interview to give to you guys because we spoke in depth for about an hour and some change about National Boxing Commission, something that Teddy feels very passionate about, something that I've thought about on my own, aside from Teddy, about how it would work, how it would structure, what would do, what would happen, how it would benefit the fighters and the sport. So I'm going to find a way to go ahead and package that into an episode, I believe for next week, so you guys can see that, because it was a very good chat, man. And I want to share it because one, I feel like I not that I did wrong, because I'm going to release the interview, but it's been like 2 weeks since I've had that interview with Teddy, and I've kind of been sitting on it. I packaged it in the last episode, but like I mentioned, I was having all these technical difficulties. Can't even talk right now. I was having all these technical difficulties that I couldn't even get it out in time. And by that time, the Spence, like I mentioned, Spence Crawford press conference started Tuesday, and then they went to New York Wednesday, talked all this ish, and then Thursday was the Regis Prograis fight week, and then the fights this weekend, man, over the weekend. Regis Prograis defending his 140-pound title. We will have Regis Prograis on with us in a little bit to talk about his fight. We had our correspondents there, Matt Tucker and Yair Martinez, on the ground, who provided coverage to you guys about the fight overall. But man, Regis, very, very. I'm thinking he was maybe a little too hard on himself, man. There's some guys that you just can't look good against. And Zorrilla felt like just didn't want to engage at all. And there's just some styles that are tricky that you're not going to look good. And the important thing is did you get the win? You got the win. Yeah, I think everybody at the top of their field, or at least a majority of people at the top of their field, are highly critical on their body work. Okay. This is just an observation that I've had. I'm highly critical on myself. And I've always been this way. I think it's from wrestling, where, people were saying all this stuff like, oh, you're so good, you're shot, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't want it to inflate my head. I didn't want it taken away from my focus of constantly wanting to improve and better myself. And that's kind of carried on into me doing this stuff in interviews, where I am highly, highly critical of myself and others, because you could always improve. And I'm not one to just throw compliments out either and stuff. Yeah, it's a fault. I think sometimes people take it the wrong way as well. Like, oh man, it's so hard to please this guy, but I have expectation. I think I have high expectations. And I think anybody who's a leader in their field or elite in their field are going to have those high expectations for themselves. And Regis is certainly one of those people, but he defended his 140-pound title. Not the best fight. And like I mentioned, you had a guy in there it's going to look tricky. It's going to be a little bit tricky for him to look spectacular. I know he wanted to get a knockout. Obviously, it was his homecoming fight. He hasn't fought there since I believe his World Boxing Super Series fight. What was it, like, I don't know, years and years ago? See, I need an actual producer to feed me this kind of info so I can spew it to you guys. But maybe this was a blessing in disguise for him, because technical guys that can move around and box are going to look at this performance and be like, you know what? I can beat this guy. You got a guy like Teo who could box and move. He's a counter puncher. You got a guy like Devin, good jab, good length. That's the one thing that I am going to touch on Regis with is this guy Zorrilla, man, was good at controlling not allowing Regis to get in his distance, or like his jab was always short because he was just out of distance to where Zorrilla was at. And Devin does a phenomenal job at controlling that distance and also countering people that overcommit or come into that distance. So both those fights, interesting fights for Regis. And of course, I'm going to ask him what he thought about the Josh Taylor fight. He didn't want to ask any questions about any of that stuff. I sent my guys over there to ask those questions, and they told me that he didn't want to talk about any of those questions until he got done with the fight. So I've been waiting to ask him about what he thought about, Taylor and Teo and Devin and all these other things, all these other fights. Also in action over the weekend, man, you guys see that Ramla Ali knockout? Oh my God. Jeez, man. She was knocked out. Like, it felt like I was looking at a crime, like the crime, like, the outline of the crime scene. Yeah, that's what that the image reminded me of. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, picture perfect knockout. I'm gonna want to get her name right because she deserves all the credit in the world. Alejandra Guzman. Is that a singer? Right? It's a singer, Alejandra Guzman. But she getting a huge upset knockout win over Ramla Ali. She's challenged for a world title before, so big ups to her. Ramla's first loss as well, but I hope she bounces back. She seems to be fine, taking it in stride. She posted a picture on her Instagram congratulating her opponent as well. And I believe there was one other little tidbit I wanted to get you guys on. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A little tidbit from a land down under. Tim Tszyu, oh my goodness, starches out Carlos Ocampo in one freaking round. Man, question to you guys was, did he look more impressive knocking Ocampo out than Errol Spence did? Obviously, two different fighters, different weight. You could say, hey, this was a better weight for Ocampo, but obviously people are gonna just accidentally hit my camera. People are gonna say like, "Hey, come on, dog! Don't be comparing Tim Tszyu to Errol Spence." I'm not comparing them. I'm comparing the manner of how he dispatched the opponent. But look like he didn't even break a sweat, man. That Tim Tszyu right hand is a freaking heat-seeking missile, man. It is a rocket. Wow, impressed by Tim Tszyu. And you know what? This Charlo injury, I feel, is a blessing in disguise for Tim, man. Really, it is. Because look. While Charlo has been having to sit out because of his injury, rehabbing the hand, Tim's gotten 2 fights in. He's active. He's sharp. And that time, they were supposed to fight at the end of last year, okay? We're, 6 months into the year now? He's had 6 months of extra training, extra preparation, 6 more months of maturing, of getting better. Sean Porter did an interview with us in which our guys over in Australia asked him, like, hey, what do you think about a Tszyu Charlo fight now? And he says, hey, man, it's nearly a 50-50 fight between these two now because of how active Tim Tszyu looks. Do you guys see it as a 50-50 fight? I still favor Charlo in the fight, obviously, but man, Tim has improved a lot. And if he gets in one more fight before this fight happens, he might be more than a live dog in this fight. If he's able to get more time in, and if Charlo's not at 100%, which I expect him to be 100%, Jermell intensity that I'm a huge fan of the Charlos. I love the Charlos. Those guys crack me up. They're hilarious. And they're funny, man. And especially Jermell, bro. Jermell, something's different about Jermell. He got like that twinkle of like to say like twinkle of crazy, but he's an intense dude because he takes his craft very seriously. And I'm not saying that he's not going to take him seriously, but if by chance that camp doesn't go well, okay, and there's a lot of things going on happening and he's not 100%, he might have his hands full. And even at 100%, he might have his hands full because you have a Tim Tszyu who's young, who's coming into his prime, but not only that, he's active and he's sharp and he wants it. He's freaking hungry, man. So, big ups to Tim Tszyu, hoping to get him actually in the next few days. We'll put out another interview episode with him talking about his win and the Charlo fight, who, from what I read, they're supposed to fight, or I think the WBO is mandating that they fight by the end of September, or they might strip Charlo. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 110% sure, but they were saying something like that. But going on to our first guest. Hey, it's first time interviewing this gentleman, Jared Big Baby Anderson, who is having a hometown of Toledo, Ohio, on a top-ranked card, main eventing for the first time on July 1st on ESPN. Let's go ahead and get to Jared. Let's go ahead and chat with him, see how he's doing, and see, what his goals are for boxing, how he is. So let's go ahead and hit that flash transition and get to Jared Anderson. Now being joined with the undefeated 14-0 Jared Anderson, who's making his homecoming July 1st. Man, Jared, you excited? You're going back home. You're main eventing your first card back home.
Yeah, I'm more than excited. Ready to go see all my hometown fans and put on a great show.
What kind of like emotions, feelings go through your mind as we get closer and closer to this homecoming for you?
Just in all that is happening, I guess, just really piecing it all together for myself. That is actually coming to life. Is actually dreams are coming true.
You get butterflies at all? Are you anxious?
I mean, not now.
You think you will be though, the closer we get?
It's possible. I haven't. This is the first, so I can't say yes or no. But I'm just ready for it. It's another fight for me.
Yeah, a lot of people said like homecoming fights can be a little bit difficult when you go back. Just people hitting you up left and right for tickets. It's a lot of pressure. We saw you're shaking your head no.
I don't even like it.
What's up?
I don't even like people.
You don't like people at all. Me neither, man. That's why I stay home. But I would imagine you got a lot of friends, a lot of people that you know, because it's your hometown.
No.
No?
I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of acquaintances. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? I knew, but not a lot of friends.
Okay, all right. So it takes a little bit of that hectic, that craziness away from you then.
Definitely.
Yeah, because we saw Regis over the weekend say like, "Hey, these hometown fights suck, man." Like, and just overall, like just seeing other fighters when they have hometown fights, some of them are good with it. Some of them, like it does get a little hectic for them.
Yeah, I'm different. I don't even pay no attention to them because I know how my city is.
How do you think they're going to respond to you?
How they always do. Either they gonna love me or they gonna hate me, or they not gonna pay attention at all.
Nah, I think they're going to pay attention, man. You got a tough dude in front of you.
Some people say, some people don't. So we'll see. I think when what's the word I'm looking for? Like the numbers come through as far as like betting and stuff. I don't think it'll show that. So
Yeah, you're fighting the Southpaw 19-0 Kazakh. I can't pronounce his name for the life of me, to be honest.
don't forget he's 34.
He's 34 years old. How old are you now?
23.
23. Okay. Hey, but 34. He's still young and spry at 34, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I was saying in the last interview, I definitely think he got something to him because he's well over his grown man strength stage. But age is a factor.
Well, he's 19-0. I'm not sure who he's fought. I know in his last fight, he took a step up, but they're saying that he's taking another step up going and fighting you.
He's not taking a step up. He's taking a floor up.
A floor. Why do you feel it's the levels that much?
If you watch his last two fights against Joey Dwecko and the step up fight that you're referring to, both of them quit. Yeah. Literally. One quit in the first round, the other one quit in the second. Literally, like quit. Like not even a punch almost landed, and they just went down and said, "Are they done?" So that alone let me know that he doesn't have any real time under the lights in the last few years. It's not nothing over 2 rounds that was competitive either.
So with that being said, then, man, how long do you think this lasts?
As long as I want it to.
Yeah. You're just going to kind of get a feel for it that first round and see what you want to do?
Yep. Because, I mean, I don't know what he has to offer, per se. I mean, I'm coming prepared for anything and everything. I'm prepared for a 22-year-old, somebody who's super energetic and ready to fight. I'm prepared for anything, but I would say that it's nothing over 4.
I know Roy's been helping you out a little bit in this camp, right?
Yeah, Roy came through this camp for sure. Yeah. He hasn't been here the whole camp, but he came through.
Yeah, because I know some of our guys saw him over the weekend for Regis's fight. But man, how did that happen? You linking up with Roy?
We doing a series or a piece of a series that I'm going to be featured in. So he came through to do some interviews and just talk with me and meet me and stuff like that. And we had a great day and a half. Shooting and little stuff we did. It was great. It was great to meet him, great to experience and listen to what he had to say.
Did he ask you to help or you asked him?
As far as helping in training?
Yeah.
It was more for the series, not really like the pad shit. I mean, excuse my language. The pad things that we did, that was more or less just for the video. Like I said, the series that we supposed to be releasing. But definitely, I mean, I will always accept because he's such a great fighter, and I know his IQ is high. But I have my coach, and I have a team right now. So if he was to ask, yeah, of course I would accept him. But I'm not reaching out to nobody at the moment.
What kind of did he give you any advice that you really like it stays with you, or did you guys have like conversations that like it stayed with you like in that time that you spent with him?
Outside of boxing, yes.
Yeah. What stayed with you the most with what Roy's told you?
That what I'm doing is a lot bigger than what how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as a means to an end, just to get my money and get out. And he wants me to look at it from a bigger perspective, on what I can do, what I have to do, and what comes with it. I don't know. I don't 100% agree with everything he said, but it stuck with me because what he had to go through, the obstacles that he overcame to still be who he is and still to love God and people how he do, it did something to my brain to make me think like, if he can do it, then I should be able to adjust to some extent to fulfill what he's saying in my career.
You said some of it you didn't agree with. Why didn't you agree with it?
Because I don't think the pressures that I have on me and the things that I'm doing at this age, I don't think that I don't think that people should portray them on me how they do. People try to push their beliefs and their thoughts and everything off on me. But I didn't ask any of that. And you can't make me open up to that. You can't make me embrace what you guys want for me. I want what I want for my own life. Let me live my own life, And that's really all it is. He understood where I was coming from in that everybody has their own life. Everybody has what they want to do. But he definitely emphasized that he felt like God put me here for a reason and put me in this place for a reason, and that I need to follow through what I got going on.
Yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned that because when I was jotting down my notes, I was thinking like, in the interviews and the articles, everyone keeps saying the next great American heavyweight, the next heavyweight champion. And I just kind of like randomly thought like, I wonder how he feels about having all this thrown at him like so early on. And if it like at all, like it's a burden at all on him, or like there's these high expectations.
It's through one ear and out the other. It's not the point of being a champion. It's not the point. Cause see, I don't have no validation problems. There's a lot of people in this industry and in this fight game that have validation problems. That they feel like in order to be who they want to be, or in order for them to be accepted, that they have to be a world champion, or they have to be this big superstar. They have to be like a rapper with all the jewelry and all the clothes and have all these things. But that's not me in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't need any validation. So I think that's what separates me from a lot of different people in this.
Yeah. So with that being said, I've heard in other interviews, like and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it seems to me that your goal is more being financially straight, that you and your family are okay then, as opposed to being undisputed champion or being world champion or any of that other stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
If financial stability comes long before a world championship, then I'll be retired.
So then piggyback off that, like, do you love boxing, or is this just, hey, it makes me a lot of money and I'm going to do it because I happen to be good at it?
I find love in it. I've found joys through it. I found a lot of brotherhood and love, communicating with athletes that are more like me than I know, and finding out. Because see, I'm one of those people. My mom is a social worker, and she went to school. She got her master's degree in psychology, if I'm not mistaken, or social working. But I'm one of those people. I kind of like the things that people shy from. I'm one of those freak people that I feed off of insecurities. So if I find out that one of your biggest insecurities is not fully accepting who you are, I'm going to try to exploit that for you so that I bring that out of you so that you don't have those insecurities no more. So I think that's a huge part that plays into why I do the things that I do, because the people around me, like, if you're not real with yourself, you can't be around me. I don't want you around me. If you can't be real to tell yourself, like, I'm messing up, I'm doing it wrong by myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to take responsibility for my own actions, then I don't want you around me. You got to be able to hold yourself accountable and not live in gray areas. I think a lot of people in this world live in gray areas, and you shouldn't live in gray areas because you should know black and white, what you gonna do or what you're not gonna do, who likes you and who doesn't like you. And that's just all it is for me.
Might be, I don't want to say off topic, but I don't know if you've noticed this, but isn't like a lot of life like very nuanced, and then that sometimes There is no black and white. It's kind of mixed at some point, given like nuanced situations.
Not for me.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because I emphasize on that. You know, it's like I say earlier on in my life, yeah, you know, through the earlier adolescent stages, but now since I turned 19, 20 years old, there's been no real gray areas through my life because I've always explained to people how it is and how it isn't. I'm gonna tell you how this is gonna go or how it ain't gonna go. You know, and you can either accept it and go with it, or you can say, nah, this is not me and this is not my life, and I'm just gonna go on. And by either way, I'm fine with both.
So, you know, you mentioned that you found a lot of love in boxing. You love the friendships that you've made and you know, the relationships that it's given you with people. But overall, like the sport, the day in, the day out, does it feel like a job to you, or is there like
100%,
genuine?
100%, 1,000%.
1,000%.
Job every day. Every day I wake up and somebody tell me like, hey, you gotta eat this. Like, why do I gotta eat that? Because it's gonna make you feel better, it's gonna make you perform better. I'm gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? Like people tell me they can't drink coconut water. It's not nothing I can't do because if at the end of the day, this is gonna pay the bills, it's gonna pay the bills. So I'm willing to do what I have to do in order to provide, but it's a job.
When did it start feeling like a job to you?
The day I turned pro.
The day you turned pro. Wow. So before you were having fun with it though?
I was having more fun. It started to become a job. I ain't gonna lie. I'll take that back. I say it started to become a job during the last year and a half of my amateur career when I was training for the U.S. team and training to try to make the Olympics. I think that was when it started to become a job because they were trying to give me rules and stipulations and basically a boss, you know, somebody who had to look over me and always tell me what I needed to do and had to do. And if I didn't do something, that they would dock my pay or take something away and stuff like that. So I think that was probably the first time where it really started to feel like a job. Cause now it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna just quit.
So with that being said, then Jared, I guess if you could have your way, how long do you fight for?
26, 27.
Wow, that's like 4 years away. Dang, you want to get in and out, that's it. Do you think over time, you know, with, and I know you mentioned accomplishments don't really matter to you, it's in one ear out the other, but do you think with over time that'll change at all? That you could see yourself? No.
I've been doing this since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Burnt out.
You're burnt out. You can't take a break? Do you think a break would do you well?
If you don't use it, you lose it.
But sometimes though, you know, if you're burnt out, you do need that break, that time away to kind of refresh everything, to, you know, put things in perspective. It makes you think of things on a different light, no?
If you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's all I can say, man. I'm telling you, like, I didn't took a break from things before, and coming back is never the same. It'll never be the same. I know if I take too long of a time off, that, and I've noticed that also in my career so far, the times that I did take longer off, I did take 2 months, 3 months off. When I come back, I'm not the same. You know, it takes me, I have to gradually get back to where I was. Now I just stay in the gym. But if I stay in the gym for the 2-3 years that I do, by the time that I do want to retire, I'll be perfectly fine with it.
That it's crazy because like a part of me like is trying to like relate to you. I'm not a boxer, you know, but I've been in jobs that I freaking hate, that I can't stand. And like, I know how like you just count the days away toward when your day's off and it's like, you're not fulfilled at all. And you're just like, man, this sucks. Like, I want to do something else. You know, what is that something else that you would like to do then?
Live life.
Just relax. Hey,
it's so many other aspects of life to live. I don't have any kids. I want to have kids. I think boxing is one of those things that's keeping me from having kids at the moment. I want to be there 100% for my kids. I don't want to have to send my kids off so that I can train. What else? It's just so much in this world that you can do, you know, so many other joys that I have that I could find. And I kind of, I don't know, maybe more or less just want to go find myself. I want to go and just be like, dang, I don't have anything to do. Let me go find something with myself, bring something out of myself that I really care for, that I really want. Because people ask me all the time, like, what do you do besides boxing? And I just stare at them. They be like, what do you do outside of it? I stare at them. What do you do to have fun? And I stare at them. You know, it's not saying like boxing is everything I do, but it's the main thing that I do. You know, I have to live, sleep, eat boxing, you know. So it is, like I said, I'm just burnt out.
No, I feel you on that point. It's like your whole identity is tied to that one thing, but it's because you've been doing that one thing since you were 8 years old. You've been so focused on it that you haven't had a chance to really, I don't want to say find yourself, but find what other things would interest you, other interest points, other hobbies that you may like, because you're spending so much time in the gym.
Exactly. And this is only a quarter of my life. You know, if I can do this by 26, 27, the first year or two, I wasn't able to do anything myself anyway. So like I said, this is the first quarter of my life.
Damn. So what if I were to, what if I had a magic ball and I told you, hey bro, you're going to be fighting till you're 35?
You wouldn't be able to tell me that. You wouldn't be able to tell me that.
If I were to tell you, hey, you're going to be considered one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, but you got to fight till you're 35.
Oh, you damn sure gonna be changing your words up there, because I'm gonna tell you right after that I'm not gonna do it. Yeah.
So how did these next 3 years look for you then, Jared, with your plans, you know, 26, 27, you want to get out?
Working as hard as I can.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a monster, man. It's just somebody who don't stop working.
But I would imagine, you know, in terms of fights, it's fast track then. Like after this, you want to get up into the guys that are in the top 5?
I'm gonna tell you like I told the other interviewer, not my job.
Not your job.
Not my job, man. I show up, I fight, I get paid.
But okay, if the goal, like you mentioned, is to get paid, obviously the highest payday you can get is either going into a title fight with the champion or you becoming the champion and getting that fight. So I would imagine you have a plan like, hey, I got to plan this out to where I can maximize.
Now let me stop you there and ask you this.
Okay.
What you think so far was the highest paid fight this year, or one of? Let's in the top 3.
This year, well, obviously Tank and Ryan is one of them. Yeah.
And what was the fight for? That alone says it all.
But look,
you don't need a title just to make the money.
Floyd and Manny, they've made the most out of anybody, and that was for titles. You know, Spence and Crawford are gonna, you know, make a lot of money as well. Like, you know, it's an important thing, right?
Okay, let me ask you this now.
Yeah.
How much did Jake Paul and anybody else he fought make?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm smoking him over here. I'm smoking him. Smoking him.
Hey, yeah, you got a point on that. But you know, Jake was famous before. I would imagine if Tom Cruise were to have a fight, he would be the highest paid boxer of all time.
Okay, so let me put it to you like this then, right? Today, I got 167,000 followers.
Yeah.
I haven't even started to be involved in social media because I'm not a social media person. If I put myself and my boxing all into the socials and stay on top of my boxing, I can be done in 3 years and do everything that they doing and more, because it's heavyweight boxing. We talking about lightweights who did that. Heavyweight, if I do that as a heavyweight, if I blow up on YouTube in the next year, if I blow up on TikTok in the next year, those are different bags and different money that, like I said, complete my goal of financial stability.
We'll see what happens, Jared, man. I would imagine boxing fans would be like, no, you got to stay because you're too talented. We want to see you keep going. I would imagine everybody tells you that.
It ain't about them.
Yeah.
That's why that take you right back to earlier what I was saying. Like, I got my own life. I want to live my own life. Let me live my life.
Bro, I feel you on that. Wanting to live life and experience life. I know how much of a sacrifice this is for you guys as fighters, and literally you guys don't have childhoods and you put your lives on hold until your guys' careers are over. So like I do empathize on that, and I could understand why you want these other things in life and how it could burn you out and how all this stuff can get to you.
I've missed so many parties, so many birthdays, so many events. So yeah, definitely I'm just tired, man.
All right. Well, I don't know if you're tired of this interview, but I'm getting the wrap. But it was a good chat with you, Jared. I appreciate you being honest, bro, and opening up a little bit. It's really refreshing, and I feel like, you know, people will get to see another side of you. But on the other side, I do empathize with you. Like, I know exactly what you're saying, because I think anybody in a small business capacity as well have to sacrifice and put a lot of things on hold, and obviously not as much as you have, because at the end of the day, you're taking punches and your sacrifices are a lot more. But like, I can see where you're coming from on that.
I appreciate it.
All right. That's Jared Anderson. He's returning to the ring coming up July 1st, homecoming. Jared, one last message, man. Go ahead and close this interview out.
Jared Anderson, man, make sure I don't miss July 1st on ESPN, man, and so many other sports networks. Make sure you don't miss it. Make sure you watch it. It will be a knockout. All
right. They're promising a knockout. That was Jared, the real big baby Anderson. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Jared.
No problem.
Wow, man. Wasn't expecting that honesty from Jared. Trying to process everything that was said on part of me says, hey, you know, he doesn't really love the sport. You know, he's just doing this as a job. And yeah, I think he is honest with, you know, he only wants to be around 3-4 years. I think anybody with that mindset that, you know, they don't like what they do, but they know it's making them a lot of money. Like, I try to picture it like, imagine I was at a normal 9-to-5 job. Okay. And I hate this freaking job. I can't stand it. And every time I go in at 9, I'm just counting down the hours, because I've actually had jobs like that where I'm just literally like, man, I'm going to make these next 7 hours pass by. And boxing being such a tough sport, man, you got to be passionate about it. Or I could totally see him just being like, you know what? I made my money. F it. I'm gone. I'm out of here. You know, I don't need to take any extra damage, any extra punches. I'm done with this stuff. And you know, when he said like, I want to live life, like, man, like I really felt him when he said that, because I feel the same way with what I've been doing with the channel and having built it since 2009. And we were saying, you know, I've missed this and this. I've missed so many birthdays, sacrificed so much. It's like, bro, like me too. Like, I can't tell you like how many weddings I've missed, birthday parties I've missed, friendships that have been fractured, friendships that I've lost because I've been so busy that I'm gone all the time, relationships that haven't worked out because I'm gone covering the fights all the time. So I understand him when he was saying that on that end. Now, another part of me feels he did say he's burnt out. Maybe he just needs a long break to kind of reflect on everything, think of everything, and you know, maybe he'll get that love and passion back. Usually that does happen when you're burnt out and you take that much needed break. But though sometimes it can make you realize like, hey, I really don't want to do this anymore. But I would imagine a kid with that much talent, man, I don't want to say it'd be a waste, but I feel like someone with that much talent to not do boxing and know that, hey, if you maybe take a break. And he said, hey, if I take a break, I know I won't be the same, but, you know, take a break for a little bit and you can maximize the amount of money that you make if his, you know, main motivating factor is being okay setting up himself and his family financially. But wow, man, I was surprised. And I appreciate that honesty from Jared as well, you know, because I think, you know, he opened up on that topic. And yeah, I appreciate dude being honest with me. And that's how I've always been, man. Like, I've always just been a straight shooter with people in terms of like my feelings towards them and what they tell me. I'd rather someone tell me like up front, like, hey, I'm a a-hole and this is what you're dealing with, than like kind of have to like tiptoe around it. I don't know. That's just how I've always been. But that was Jared Anderson, the real big baby. He's main eventing, like he had mentioned, on ESPN July 1st. And now we go over and transition to Mr. Regis Prograis, who fought over the weekend in his hometown of Louisiana, New Orleans, having a homecoming fight in which some of our cameras were there after the fight. He was real honest about his performance as well. Wasn't too happy, but let's go ahead and get in depth on that and what he thinks about these other fights at his in his division now that he's defended his world championship. I'm dying to see what he thinks about how Teofimo fought and a few other things as well, like Broner as well. So let's go ahead and get Regis Prograis on the line. Here he is. Regis, bro, you're too hard on yourself, dog. I think you're too hard on yourself. This was a tough guy, a tricky dude, and like, you know, like a Sandor Martin performance against Teo, like some guys, it's very hard to look good against because of the style they fight. But, you know, let me know overall, man. You've had a few days to think about your fight. You still being hard on yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I'm my biggest critic, bro. I want to be the best. I want, for me, I want to be the best. I want to be considered the best. I don't do it just for money and belts. I want to be considered like the best. So, with a performance like that, like I don't like it. I'm definitely hard on myself. I don't feel good about it. I talk to my coaches and like, bro, I have a lot to improve on. I have to prove. Yeah, the dude was, he was tricky. He ran around. His thing was he wanted to come and survive. He didn't want to get knocked out, especially after he felt that when I dropped him, he definitely was, he was more worried and all that type of stuff. But bro, I want to, like, I do it to be the best. I'm not doing this. I really love boxing. So I'm not doing this just, for money. And, obviously you want to be a champion in belts, but I really want to be the best. I really want to be considered the best. So I have to go out there and perform. And for me, this was an off night.
Mm. But you had a guy in there that made it difficult for you to get your distance. That's one thing I did notice was it was a little difficult to get in the distance where you're able to throw your effective punches. What do you think made that difficult? Was it just him not willing to engage and him moving back all the time, or was it more to that?
Yeah, it was just the same things, like you said, bro. It was just like he didn't want to engage. Like he just kept moving. He just kept running the whole. He just ran around the ring the whole time. I never had that happen before. I never even sparred nobody. I mean, I sparred people like that, but not that much. Like he literally just running around the whole time. Like I'm just like playing cat and mouse, just trying to catch him the whole time. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't even really, and when he was on the outside, he wasn't even like jabbing too much. Like sometimes when you move your feet on the outside, you'll jab and at least try to do something. He just was like just moving, just literally just moving his feet, running around, and just trying to land one big counter the whole time.
You mentioned before this question that you feel you have a lot to work on. What are those things that pop out of your mind that you want to work on then?
I feel like, well, for this fight, for this fight particularly, cutting off the ring, that's something that we didn't work on because we didn't think we need to work on, to be honest. Like we didn't work on this the whole camp. Like the fights I watched to him, I saw he supposedly had big knockout power, but the fights I watched, like he knocked some people out, and then with the fight with Barboza, he stood there and fought him, so I thought that he was gonna do that with me. He was gonna stand there and at least try to be in the pocket and try to fight me a little bit, but he just ran around the ring, so it's like hard to prepare for that if you don't even know what's gonna happen. Like I had this whole camp, I had sparring partners, and we was boxing. We was in there fighting, so not fight, but it wasn't running around. It was like we was going at it and stuff. But so we didn't. This camp I didn't prepare for that at all. Literally, like I didn't. Not one time did we prepare for his style.
Damn, he flipped the script.
Yeah, he flipped the script big time. I mean, I thought that. I mean, I know people gonna try to stay away from me because I do hit hard. I know that, but that much, like just literally just running around the ring, I didn't think it was gonna be like that. I didn't think he was gonna just run around the ring the whole time.
No, yeah, this is the first time in a while, I think, since the boxing Super Series fight, right? That you were back in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would imagine you wanted a spectacular knockout. I don't know if you put that pressure on you, but did you feel the pressure to do something like that?
Course. Yes, definitely for sure. Well, I just had the hometown jitters, bro. Like I mean, even like I know leading up to the fight, I was like, nah, it's not gonna be no pressure and stuff like that. But it wasn't pressure until like I feel like right after the weigh-ins, and my people saw it. They saw it in me because usually my wife saw it. My wife was like, I'm like, I told her that I was nervous. I told my coaches, I was like, man, I'm nervous about this fight. I called my coaches. I was like, bro, I'm nervous. I told my assistant, I was like, bro, I'm nervous. I don't know why. I was like, bro, this dude can't mess with me. Like 10 out of 10 times, this dude can't beat me or whatever. But I am nervous because I did have the hometown thing behind me. So, my wife was like, yeah, like, because in my partners, they saw it in me at the weigh-in, like at the weigh-in, he put his arm up or something like that, and I was like, start talking to him, and I don't do that. That's getting out of character for me. I don't care about that type of stuff. Like, especially started off first. Like, now if somebody talk to me, I'm gonna respond. That's just how I am. But just he was like real calm, and he was doing all kinds of stuff, and I started talking to him. So that's just I think something basically coming out of character that I shouldn't have did. And so my partner saw it, my wife saw it, and all that stuff. And the day of the fight, my coach, I was like, man, what time I gotta be at the arena? He was like 7 o'clock. Bro, I woke up like 9 o'clock in the morning. And usually one thing I always do, I'm a professional. So I always stay in the room the whole time. Like before the fight, like during like fight week, I try to stay in the room in the hotel room as much as I can. But we in New Orleans. So man, what I did is I went by my mom. I told my wife, man, come get me. And I went by my mama's house with my wife, and they dealing with tickets. And oh my God, I should never went. It's something I should never did, bro. Like I went over there and they talking about tickets. My mom and my wife, they talking about tickets. I'm like, bro, yeah, like y'all telling me about tickets. I'm literally fighting tonight. You telling me about fucking tickets, bro? Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, bro, can y'all? And I just left. I like, please take me back. I literally went over there for a second, talked a little bit. I was like, bro, take me back right now. Take me back to the room. And, it was just something that I just normally don't do that type of stuff. And I should have never did. And, yeah, bro, it was just a lot of hometown jitters, the whole week leading up to it is like everybody is, on me, and the whole city coming out for me. We had celebrities. It was a fun event, and I'm glad we did that. And I showed Eddie, I could sell in my own city. But it definitely was a lot of hometown jitters.
Man, yeah, that's a pretty cool insight to show like how the stresses are of a hometown fight. I would imagine you don't want this to be the last time that you're in New Orleans, but I would think you're probably not gonna fight there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, right. Right now, we chilling out for a while. I'm not fighting here. I don't think I should fight here, because it's just too much, man. Like everybody, people hit me up from elementary school. I'm coming and out, even girls and stuff like that. Girls you had a crush on, like, oh, I'm gonna be at the fight, like. All right, bro. What y'all doing after the thing? What's the after party? What's all this? Like, oh, I'm bringing my girls with me. Like, bro, whatever, bro. Like, come on, bro. But it's just like, man, when you gotta deal with that, bro, it's just so much. It's so much you gotta deal with. And yeah, I like the hometown fights, bro. They the worst.
Yes, some people like the madness, the chaos. Others are like, no, just way too distracting. I just want to be able to just let my mind be worry free and just kind of get myself in a flow and not have to think about anything.
Yeah, because like you got to figure out, like when you're dealing with ticket, the main thing, like tickets and people trying to get next to you and just do all kinds of people. Everybody want to be close to you at that, fight week and stuff like that when dealing with tickets. So like with the hometown thing, like usually you got the same people that's gonna come. You got your close family, you got your close friends, they coming. But when you hometown, you got your close family and your friends, and then those people, the people that's cool with them want tickets, and then the people that's cool with them want tickets, and the people that's cool with them want tickets. So it's a trickle down effect. It all trickles all the way down. Like say, like one of my friends, like some of my friends, they want a ticket for somebody that wants a ticket for somebody else. And it's like it's madness. My mama, like she'll want a ticket for my friend that one of my friends need a ticket, and that friend need a ticket, and that friend need a ticket. It's maddening. It's just it's crazy because everybody's just trying to come, and then it's a last minute thing. Like I said, like I was over there. I left to go. My wife picked me up on fight day on Saturday around like 3 o'clock, and she brought me to my mama house, and they was all dealing with the tickets. And I went over there, which I should have never went. My mama asked me about tickets, like, bro, I'm fighting tonight. You literally gonna ask me about this? Like, I can't do that. My wife and them talking about stuff. I'm like, bro, I'm fighting tonight. They talk about parties and stuff. I'm like, I'm fighting tonight, bro. Can we focus on the fight, bro? Not no damn after party. What y'all talking about? Like me and I'm snapping on there. I'm snapping on my mom. I'm snapping on my wife. I'm just snapping on people because it's like, bro, I gotta fight, And I think that everybody, they look at my opponent, and I don't look at it like this way. Maybe I do it sometimes, but they look at it like, man, it's just gonna be an easy night. It's gonna be an easy win. So whatever, everybody kind of planning things. And, I think sometimes I might get in that mode, but I told my wife that's something we can't do no more, because I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like after I planned all kinds of stuff like for after the fight, way before the fight, man. I got a house on the water right now, and we had a big old crawfish ball over here yesterday and a big party. And we were talking about after parties. We were talking about going on vacations and doing this. And my wife already gone doing stuff. It's like we literally planned all this stuff before, way before the fight. So maybe it was like an overlooking type of thing, but it was a lot, just hometown jitters. And then on top of that, my opponent just ran around.
Two questions, and based off that, one, did you underestimate Zorrilla at all?
I think I did. Like I would say no, but the words coming out of my mouth say no, but I think like my actions probably say yes, basically, because he was a last minute opponent. I was like, all right, he's gonna be a last minute opponent, and I'm just gonna go out there and probably destroy him. And like I said, I think I'm gonna beat everybody, So I'm pretty sure I did in my head, because even my daddy tell me, like, bro, focus on your fight, because the whole Devin Haney thing and Tio, all that stuff was coming out, and my daddy always be like, listen, focus on your fight. And we all in a family group thing, and I was like, hey, what, like, y'all all want to go on a cruise? My dad was like, focus on your fight. Like, what are you talking about? Like, can you focus on your fight? I was like, and sometimes I don't. I'm hard headed. Sometimes I don't like to listen, but I need to. It's like, bro, yeah, I gotta. Me and my wife talking about like where we going after this. Like, yeah, all right, let's all go on a family cruise like right after this, like right after the fight. Or we go here, we go do this, we going to Brazil, saying all this stuff, and literally I didn't even fight yet. So maybe I did.
Well, you got the win. The scorecards were kind of all over the place. I was a little bit surprised about that. Did you feel at all that the fight was close, or the fight reflected what the scorecard showed?
I didn't think it was close. No, I think I controlled the fight. I mean, I dropped him. I did put him down. I dropped him, and then after, I just felt like I just pressed him. I controlled the fight. It wasn't too many. I mean, it wasn't too many connected punches on my end or his end. I felt like that, but if you look at who was doing what they wanted to do, I mean, both of us, I guess. He was running around the ring, and I was just pressing him. I was pressing the action. So, I mean, I felt like I was just in control of the fight. I guess I was doing what I want to do more. If you look at body language, that's what I was doing. I was doing what I wanted to do, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was a close. I definitely didn't think it was a close fight. I mean, I don't know how they were scoring it for him. Yeah, he's sometimes he'll pop shot me and stuff, but like it never really did nothing.
And you weren't ever hurt at all, right? Because I know they showed a replay where they said like there could have been a knockdown early on in the fight, but you weren't ever hurt, right, or stunned?
No, as I'm saying. When I watched it on the big screen, I was like, that do look like a knockdown. But when it happened, it was like I saw it was like feet or something like that. Because I was like, that ain't nothing. Nothing hurt me. Like I saw that he did hit me, and but then our feet got tangled up. Of course, when you got the right hander and a southpaw, and the front foot always tend to like get mixed up and stuff like that. So I felt that, but I didn't feel like I didn't feel like he hurt me at all. I never felt hurt in the fight. Like nothing. I mean, even my face was like clear. Like I mean, even probably him too. Like nothing. It wasn't nothing too much landed. I mean, I landed that left hand the third round, and I remember hitting him with a body shot. He kind of was like, "Ugh," and then the round ended, and I told my coach, like, I got him with a body shot. So I was planned on going back down to the body the next round, but he ran around.
Mm. Well, with this win now, man, you got so many opportunities for you. I know the correspondence that we had over there during the week, you had told them, hey, I want to focus on this fight. Don't ask me about Teo. Don't ask me about anybody or anything. I just want to focus on that. You even said in the press conference, F this guy, F this guy, F this guy. I'm fighting. I want to focus. Now that we're done, what do you think about all these other people's fights that want to have fight with you? And let's primarily start with Teo, man. What'd you think about how he looked?
Teo looked good. I mean, I think he looked good. I think he surprised me. He surprised a lot of people. I thought that Josh Taylor was definitely supposed to go out there and beat him, but he won, man. Congratulations to Taylor. He looked good, and I still feel like I'm the best at 40. I had an off night, but I still feel like I'm the best, and I feel like definitely I whoop him. And if that fight presents itself first, I'll definitely take that fight first, because he does have a belt. Like Devin. I think me and Devin is easy to be made. Is an easier fight to be made. Me and Catterall is the easier fight that can be made. But Teo has a belt. He does have a belt. Unifications, I think they're important. He has a name and he has a belt. Devin has a name, but he doesn't have belts. Catterall has a semi, he has a name too, semi. So, I think we can do that. Matias has a belt. So yeah, I mean, listen, bro, whoever, I gotta talk to Eddie. Obviously, we gonna talk maybe this next week or something like that, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that is if Teofimo doesn't stay retired. He's mentioned that he's going to retire. I don't know if he's officially relinquished the belt, but I stumbled upon an interview that I did with you ahead of your fight with Cepeda when I asked you about a rematch with Josh Taylor, and you said, "Yeah, no, of course I want that, but honestly speaking, I don't think he's getting any better. I think he's regressed." And it's just kind of like weird timing how like I found that, and then like Teo goes ahead and beats Josh. Overall, you fought Josh. What version of Josh did you see here against Teo?
Look washed up. He looked washed up. I mean, I said that, man. I think that Josh he's not getting better. If in this sport, if you're not getting better, you get worse. And that's what I have to do. That's what I feel. I mean, obviously, I did my thing, but I have to get better. I have to learn from this. And I feel like Josh is not the same fighter he was in 2019 when he fought me. At the stage when he fought me and like Ramirez, I think that's over. I think we'll never see that Josh ever again. I think he's done. I think, he's not done. Don't get me, I don't want to say that, but I don't think he's that elite level no more. I mean, as far as 140, I don't think he could beat me. He couldn't beat Teo. Broly, maybe. But Matias, I don't know. I don't know if he could beat any of the champions right now at 140 and definitely at 147. I mean, what is he gonna do? At 147, is he, excuse me. So, I mean, what top dog is he gonna beat at 147? I don't know. I can't see him beat nobody there either. So, yeah, I think he's on a. I think that Josh Taylor is on the decline. I don't think he can ever be back. Because some people have off nights. I had an off night Saturday. I had an off night, but I feel like, after the Catterall thing, and then he took a long layoff, and then he just fought Teo, and Teo made him look ordinary, man. Teo definitely made him look just basic and ordinary. So I don't think that undisputed Josh Taylor, I think that's long gone. I don't think he's coming back.
Wow. You mentioned Devin. Bill was there. I would imagine he was scouting you a bit for a potential matchup. I saw the video where Eddie showed a photo of Devin, and then I saw the video that you posted. You were there with Bill. Are we going to get that next? Is that the most logical fight for you?
Yes, I think it has to be. That's what I want. I mean, I want it. It sounds like Bill and them, they want it. They was out there scouting. He wanted to come. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we can do it. I think it's an easy fight to make. They have a good relationship with Metro. I think it's a good fight. I think it's definitely a good fight to make. It's an easy fight to make. And yeah, hopefully we get that. Hopefully we can get that fight.
Man, there's so many fights for you. There's that one, Haney. There's Teo. Broner had a fight a few weeks back. He's been calling you out. He's I guess said in interviews, he's told me like, hey, like Regis is like my top priority. I want that fight. How lucrative is a fight with Broner compared to like a Haney or a Teo for you?
I think they all lucrative, really. I mean, it depends. Whoever me, bro. I mean, what I'm saying. I got the belt, and I want to look good against everybody. But yeah, definitely want the biggest fights, and that's Broner somebody I want to fight forever. So it depends on what they want. The only thing about that, man, I don't know if how willing is Eddie to work with Don King. That's the only thing about it. Eddie was saying Don King got $127 million or something like that. So I don't know how they're gonna work that out between Eddie and Don. But yeah, I mean, I think it could be a lucrative fight between me and any of them, man. Teo, Broner, Haney, all of them. I think that all of them are big fights.
Now, going back to the previous fight with Teo and Josh, just popped in my mind because you said, you feel that the undisputed Taylor, that's a thing long of the past then. So was it that it's just Taylor's not it anymore, or did Teo level up and rise up, or you see the same stuff that you've seen from past Teo fights that you feel you can exploit and end up doing a lot of damage to him if you guys fight?
I think I do damage to Teo, but it's all of them, bro. Listen, I think that first off, I think I can do some damage to Teo. I definitely think that. I don't think he's gonna be able to take my shots. You know, I'll fight way different, of course, if I fight Teo. I feel like he rose to the occasion. I definitely feel like he rose to the occasion for Josh Taylor. And I feel like Josh Taylor is on a decline. All three. I really feel like all three of those things. I feel like Taylor's he's on a decline, and I don't think he can. I don't know if he can actually come back. Now, maybe I could be wrong. You know, I'm maybe I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I think a lot of people think the same thing I'm saying, and they said that he's on a decline and he might not come back from that. Teo rose to the occasion, and I still want to fight Teo.
Rolly too. How does a fight between you and Rolly look like? Because you guys are both two heavy-handed hitters. Rolly's gonna talk ish. You're gonna talk
Rolly
ish.
gonna talk a lot of trash. I think it'll be a good. I guess Rolly got the WBA belt, so maybe if me and Rolly can fight, I guess that's a cool. Man, I wouldn't want to fight Rolly, bro. I just somebody. I mean, money and the belt, yes, but just Rolly is like not that good to me, bro. I mean, he got power. All right, I respect that he got the power, but I just don't think for me, I just don't think that Rolly's is not that good. But listen, bro, if Eddie come to me and say, man, you might have Rolly next, I say, shit, all right, Eddie. Well, how much you gonna give me? How much money we gonna get paid? And we'll talk about it. But obviously, I'll fight him. But it's just somebody I don't look to as the champions. I mean, with me, Teo, and Matias, that I will focus on them more than I will focus on Rolly. But if they offer me Rolly, I'm like, shit, Eddie, all right, well, if that's what you got, if I gotta do that, then all right, bet, let's do it, and let's see, let's open your checkbook up, then that's all.
I got about maybe one or two more questions left with you, Regis. I just want to ask you, just based on that, why do you feel Rolly's not good? A lot of people said, hey, he was winning the fight against Gervonta until he got caught. Maybe unorthodox, yes, but is there some skill there, or?
A little skill. He's not a world champion for nothing, but the old man he fought was beating his ass, bro. That old man was when he dropped him. That old man was whooping on his ass. So, I guess it's just Rolly. I don't know, bro. I just have no interest in fighting Rolly. But if it happens, then I mean, maybe I'll be happy about it because he does have a belt. I might get unified with Rolly, but we'll see, bro. I don't know. I mean, he just I guess he's awkward. That's all. It's just his skill looks it's not like skill. He looks awkward. He looks like
Mayorga
like
almost.
Like a judo fighter or something like that. Something else. Not like a boxing, different type of fighter, like a different type of fighting background.
So we're in June right now, Regis. You got a lot of time left. We see you back in the ring by the end of the year, you feel?
Oh yeah, for sure. By the end of the year, for sure. I would think. I don't know the dates. I'll talk to everybody. I talk to Eddie and I talk to what they saying and stuff. But maybe we'll see. September, October, November. I'm gonna take a break now. Now I can actually talk about the cruises and the vacations in Brazil, in Mexico, all the stuff I want to do. I can actually talk about that now. But after I do all that stuff, bro, then and figure out what I'm gonna do with myself and like what I'm gonna do going forward to improve, then I'll holler at Eddie and see what he got for me.
And my last question for you, Regis. I know fights are presented to you and then you guys choose, but if you had a choice, bro, if you could be like, what, this is my next fight, and Eddie could make it happen, what would be the next fight?
That's a good question, man. Probably Devin. If I get Devin next, yeah. Devin. It's just so many good fights, bro. Like it's between Devin and Teo. Teo will be top, Teo will be first, really. Because Teo has a belt. Teo has a name and he has a belt. Devin doesn't have a belt at 140, but he is undisputed at 135 and he has a name. So between Teo and Devin, I think a Catterall fight is an easy fight to make, but he's not. His name isn't that big. But between I think Teo and Devin, Adrien Broner. Matter of fact, probably Adrien Broner, because that's somebody I want to fight forever. I want to fight Adrien Broner forever, and he has a name, and I think I smashed Broner to pieces. I really think I smashed Broner. So he does have a name, and It's between them three, man. I can't even put one in order. Like shit. It seemed like Devin might be next, but then Broner talking. Teo right now, he might be I would want him first, in those top three, but he might be retired. So I don't know if that's gonna happen. So between them three, bro, like whoever, just gotta talk to Eddie and see who he can get to me.
Man, all three of those would be excellent choices. I would love to see any one of those three fights. Regis, vacation time for you. Enjoy those Caprinas and enjoy Brazil. Caprinas.
Capirinha.
Hey, that's a odd fact. Regis knows Portuguese, fluent, right?
Fluent in Portuguese. A lot of people don't know that, bro. I spend a lot of time in Brazil. My wife Brazilian, so my kids fluent. They speak Portuguese, and I speak Portuguese. And I'm not Brazilian. People think I'm Brazilian. I'm from New Orleans, so I'm from the South. My language is English, but I do speak Portuguese.
Well, obrigado, muito obrigado
Obrigado.
to Regis Prograis. Defended his title over the weekend, still 140-pound champion, holding that WBC strap. Regis, as always, man, great catching up with you, great chatting with you, and we'll speak to you when your next fight comes up, or earlier than that. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that was Regis Prograis. We look forward to him going back into the ring later this year. Man, he got so many options for fights, man. And a lot of these fights, they man, him and Teo, tremendous freaking fight. Stylistically, it's interesting to see how Teo is going to deal with Regis's power. Regis, how he's going to deal with Teo's speed, his power, and his counter punching. In a fight with Devin, I feel that Devin would probably be the favorite in the fight. But hey, you got to remember, man, Regis can crack. Linares had Devin a little shaken up. We had Lomachenko had Devin a little shaken up in that fight. And you got to think, hey, man, if Regis lands against Devin, what's going to happen? But that's another interesting fight because, too, Devin's a guy that's going to make it look difficult. He's going to shoot that jab. He's going to move. And this guy was moving a lot, and he made it difficult for Regis as well. But you got Broner, and you heard him. He's been wanting that Broner fight for a long, long time. That'd be an entertaining fight. And I think a Broner fight makes a lot of sense for Regis because Broner's, is a big name in the division that's also been calling him out as well. And I think that fight sells. There's interest there with the fans to want that fight. Subriel Matias, which to me, Subriel Matias and Regis, that's a buzzsaw freaking fight, man. That fight, both guys are going to have to dig deep and they're going to slug it out. I don't want to say it's the hardest, but it kind of is maybe the hardest, I feel, potentially, for him. Rolly Romero against Regis, even though I know it's not at the top of the list for Regis, but that'd also be a highly entertaining fight because Rolly's going to come and throw down, and Rolly's a lot bigger than Regis, and Rolly's a big puncher as well. So, man, there's so many fights there. Taylor moving up in weight now. I don't think we'll see a rematch between Regis and Josh Taylor unless Regis decides to move up to 147 pounds. But, man, 140 is heating up. You got Ryan. And, man, this lawsuit that's happening between Oscar and Ryan Garcia. I don't know if you guys saw the headlines a few days ago, but Golden Boy Promotions enforcing their contract with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia and his advisor saying that I don't know if something happened where they said that the contract is not enforceable anymore. They can get out of it. And Golden Boy is taking them to court via lawsuits saying that no, that their contract's still valid and enforceable. Sucks to see, sad to see, because, I feel Golden Boy's done Golden Boy's done a great job promoting Ryan and building him up and matching him with the right fights. And Ryan's done his job too. He pushed for the Tank fight. He's a big reason as to why I feel we have a lot of this momentum of people wanting to have fights, big fights, young in their career. Him and Devin, man, props to Devin. I feel like that gets lost in a lot of this stuff, even with the Lomachenko stuff, regardless of what you thought happened in that fight. I think the bigger thing is you got a kid that's so young in Devin that's willing to challenge himself like that. And look at the last fights he's had, man. They aren't just scrubs that he's been fighting. Goes to Australia twice to win the undisputed titles. Goes to this fight against Vasily, now wanting to move it to 140, wanting to fight Regis Prograis. Like, what more, honestly, do you want from a champion, from a kid at 24 years age? Usually kids, and it's funny I say kids, but boxers that are undefeated his age are more worried about keeping their undefeated record and more worried about looking a certain way and not taking risky fights, wanting to keep that undefeated record because it sells, it's sexy. But man, Devin, like, I commend that guy. Like, I have a lot of respect for Devin, and this is the type of behavior we want to see from our champions, to be honest. And going back to the earlier thing I was saying about Ryan, same here. You know, these two help kind of spur that. You know, he wanted the Gervonta fight. He took the Gervonta fight, even with the rehydration clause and all that. So, but yeah, it just kind of sucks to see these spats between, you know, fighters and promoters. But, you know, time and time again, they happen, man. They happen. A young guy that is on the cusp of superstardom, they go and they do things on their own, even though a lot of people are saying, hey, Ryan's on the wall. Ryan's, you know, they're trying to get him to go over to another promoter. But, you know, Oscar left Bob. Floyd left Bob. You know, it's we've seen it time and time again. So I guess it's, you know, one of those things that I don't want to say it's normal, but it does happen in boxing. But it is kind of like, man, like, I don't know. I just feel a lot of this could have been avoidable between the two if cooler heads prevailed and people weren't so quick to jump on Twitter with, you know, their comments and their feelings. And you know, just, you'll be surprised, man. And I do this sometimes too, and it's actually helped me a lot. I don't know when I read, I think I read in college that Abraham Lincoln used to write what he wanted to tell people on a piece of paper, and he would crush it and crumble it and not even send it, just to get all those emotions out. And then when you're done, you don't feel like sending that thing over to that person anymore. And you could think with a lot calmer, cooler approach, cooler head, and you make a rational decision that's not going to bite you in the butt. Feel in this instance that could have gone that way, but yeah, free life tip to you guys. If you feel like you're an emotional person and you act out an emotion, which I do, it's still something I'm trying to master. Trying to master your emotions is freaking hard. And I always hear these, I see on TikTok and all this stuff like, oh yeah, if you master your emotions, you're unstoppable. One thing I do know, you master your emotions, you make a lot better decisions. And there have been times where I get angry and I write stuff out and then I just crumple it or crush it or I type it on my notes. And yeah, I am able to make a lot better and rational decisions. So yeah, that's free life tip for you guys. Marcos's life tip, free for you guys. Next time I'm gonna charge you guys. But hey, I believe we made it to another episode. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to follow us at Fight Up TV on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok. Dude, our Instagram is popping. Follow us there as well. Follow me at Hey It's Marcos V on Twitter. Soon I will get an IG again. IG deleted it. Long story. And keep supporting, keep watching our content. We got a lot of content coming this way. Edgar Berlanga fights this week in New York. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the schedule just so you guys know what's happening this weekend in the world of boxing. Berlanga's taking on Jason Quigley in New York at the Garden. That is a Matchroom card. Man, okay, so this card right here is a card that I think is going under the radar. It's going to be a phenomenal freaking fight, man. Carlos Adames against Julian J. Rock Williams, happening on Showtime at the Armory in Minnesota. A lot of people gave me a lot of ish for this. Minnesota on the East Coast. Ha, ha, ha. I know it's not. But some people still give me grief about saying that via Twitter. But I feel the Armory is one of the, if not top 2 best venues in all the United States to watch boxing. The people in Minnesota love fights. It's a crazy atmosphere there, that arena, great acoustics. It's just go. If you're ever in town or you're from Minnesota, from Minneapolis, go to this fight, man, because watching fights at the Armory, amazing. I had the opportunity to work a lot of fights there when I was working for Fox Sports when they were showing PBC fights. And also in Japan, the Franco. Funny, my first jiu-jitsu teacher was Franco de Camargo, but Franco, Ioka rematch, no television streaming partner for this. So I hope if get this message out to Robert Garcia. Go on your IG live, please, when this fight happens, so we could watch it. Because yeah, we're gonna have to go team stream on that one. Go to Meth Streams or however. Actually, put on the comment where you guys go to get that sort of stuff, because I feel like the stream places that I go to may be a little outdated. But yeah, that is this next week coming in boxing. Stay tuned here for all content surrounding those events here on Fight Up TV, and tune back to us next Monday. I got a lot of good guests in the works for next Monday. You're gonna appreciate, you're gonna like it. As always, man, thank you for watching. I thank you for supporting. Keep supporting. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and tell all your other friends to subscribe to the channel, and follow us on social media. I want to keep this thing going. I want to keep this thing growing as well, because I really think it could be something really special, really entertaining, and something that's not being done in this space. So for myself and on behalf of all of the Fight Up team, thank you guys for watching, and make it a good week. Have a good, productive Monday and the rest of your week. Take it easy till next time, guys. Appreciate it.